Welcome to ESPN College Football Prime Time. It is presented by Sonos. This is the American Conference on ESPN. Welcome to Tulsa, Chapman Stadium. Oh, it's homecoming, and the Tulsa Golden Hurricanes take on the Memphis Tigers. Let's take a look at the conference standings. And listen, all of these squads are looking up at SMU, Houston, and Cincinnati. Hey, the Bearcats, not only at the top of the standings, one of the best teams in the country, fifth in the country, and of course they beat up on Temple today. Both of these squads came in believing they have a chance to challenge for the conference championship. Hello, everybody. I'm Brian Cussins, my partner Kelly Stauffer, and Stauffer. Both of these teams looking for their first conference win. Let's start with Tulsa, an experienced squad. You throw out the Houston loss. They've been in just about every game because they've lost all of those games except for Ohio State by just one score.
What's that saying? You are what your record says you are? I'm not so sure it's that way with Tulsa. I think the schedule hasn't done them any favors. That week 2-3, they showed a ton of improvement, but you're on the road to Oklahoma State and Ohio State, so it was tough to see. I think they're hungry and ready to show they're better than their record is now.
Well, let's talk about Memphis because they're trying to avoid their first three-game losing streak since 2015. And, you know, Coach Silverfield told us he believes they could be unbeaten if they would just learn how to finish.
And finish is the word. Let me hook you up to the heart monitor for a minute. They trailed Mississippi State 17-7, only a 10% chance to win, and they end up coming back and winning that game. The next week, UT San Antonio jumped all over them 21-0. Basically a 96% chance to win. They end up losing that on a last-second field goal, and then it was Memphis against Temple. Quick start once again. The second blown double-digit lead. You're exactly right, because if Memphis can learn to close, they're going to be a tough out in this conference going forward.
Well, I tell you what, Memphis has won 3 straight against Tulsa, 5 of the last 6. Let's go down to the field. The third member of our team here is Lauren Sisler.
Hey guys, let's highlight Seth Hennigan, under center for the Memphis Tigers. This is a true freshman, but he certainly does not carry himself like a true freshman, and that was indicative when he told me about his transition from high school to college. Here's the timeline. January 15th of 2021, he leads his team to the first state championship since 2002, coached by his father, Dave. They're in AT&T Stadium. Early the next morning, they packed up the car, they've loaded up, they're headed to Memphis, and he's enrolled in class by Monday. He told me there was no time to celebrate. It was important for him to lock into his career, learn the offense quickly, and be ready when his number was called. And that has certainly paid dividends.
No, you're right. One of the best freshman quarterbacks in the country as you take a look at his father and, of course, the family, the Hennigan family here. Now, Tulsa won the toss. They've deferred, so Memphis will get the football to start things off. And we'll get a look at the freshman, Seth Hennigan. Zach Long, he's going to kick things away. Back deep, one of the most dangerous return men in Calvin Austin. And across the 20 and brought down at the 22, push back, but we got a flag come flying in. Charles Lamartina is our referee.
During the return, holding, receiving team number 22, 10-yard penalty, first down Memphis.
So you heard Lauren talk about Seth Hennigan, true freshman, 3-star prospect out of Denton, Texas, a suburb of Dallas. Look, he threw for 305 yards, 3 touchdowns last week versus Temple. So far on the season, he's thrown for nearly 1,500 yards, 12 touchdowns, just 1 interception.
That circle right there, the 1 pick. And the young man's greatest asset right now is said to be how quickly he processes information. That's an enormous asset to have as a young quarterback.
And he's going to start off, looks, keeps it, and brought down after about 1 yard. Grant Sawyer makes the stop for Tulsa.
And because you're probably going to see Memphis go with tempo, and that's another thing. A young quarterback being able to drive the sports car very fast is also impressive.
Rodriguez Clark in the backfield behind Hennigan. And he gets the carry, and he goes right up the middle. Again, another stop by Sawyer. And here's Ryan Silverfield, second season. You know, he's been on the Memphis staff since 2016. He was an assistant, and last year he was the first head coach in school history to win a bowl game in just his first season. Here's Clark again, left side, and he powers forward. That's a first down for the Tigers. If you take a look at Tulsa, you can see they're wearing their throwback uniforms, those red uniforms, considering it's homecoming. And in honor of homecoming, 2011, the last time that Tulsa wore those red throwbacks, and these are their 1950 jerseys. And here's Clark again. And he's forced out of bounds after another pickup of about 4. Tyron Davis forced him out.
And Memphis likes to script their first 20 plays, which allows them to go as fast as they possibly can. But to go fast, you have to be efficient, and this offense has been efficient at times this season.
Calvin Alston at the bottom of your screen, one of the top receivers in the country. As you see Hennigan surveying the defense, taking a look. Clark finds a hole, and he's close to another first down. Johan C. Burnett with the stop.
Because Hennigan does such a good job of managing things at the line of scrimmage. We talked about their desire to go fast, but even when they don't go fast, he processes things. He looks over to the sidelines and usually gets them into an advantage play.
3rd and 2 coming. Brandon Thomas has checked into the backfield. He's the redshirt freshman, and he gets the carry. Left side, and that's another first down. Now Thomas is a flag down as well. One of the most talented backs that they've got there, but he's had a fumbling problem. Fumbled last week, fumbled 2 weeks ago.
Personal foul, face mask, defense number 97. 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
That's on Tyrus Stevenson, the senior out of Louisiana.
When you talk about Brandon Thompson's fumble-itis, he's known to really have ball security kind of as one of his best attributes, but he's been putting the ball on the ground this season and got benched last week, as a matter of fact. As a young player, you have to take care of the football first and foremost.
Yeah, Thomas got benched for a half because of that fumble. Play fake, pass over the middle. That's knocked away. He was looking at Alston, and we got a flag. Had a lot of laundry here early. Yeah.
Holding, defense number 0. 10-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
That's Tyon Davis.
Davis is matched up outside, and that quick release by Calvin Austin coming inside, and Davis just grabs a hold of him. And Davis will do that. There's a kind of 3 drop 8 coverage by Tulsa, but Davis will get in the face and press coverage a lot, and we'll probably see that matchup multiple times this evening.
See Hennigan surveying the defense, now under center, and gives it to Thomas. Thomas to the left side, maybe a yard.
Well, Memphis offensively is what Tulsa described as a true RPO team, a run-pass option team. They kind of live and die by that decision making. Either the young quarterback Hennigan gives the ball up on the run, or he manipulates one defender and throws the football.
Here's Hennigan back to pass. That's over the middle, and that's complete. That's to the tight end, Sean Dykes. And I tell you, he's one of the most prolific tight ends in the country. He's got the 2nd most yards of any tight end in the country, only behind Trey McBride of Colorado State. That's a pickup of 15. And that one's to Austin. That's complete.
And so you can see the game plan, and it's nothing new for Memphis. It's have a positive play and then see how fast we can snap the ball once again.
Thomas, the carry, right side. Brought down by Jackson Player. Inside the red zone now for Memphis.
And for Memphis, the rush numbers have been trending downward the last few years, but more of an emphasis on it this season.
Thomas, and he didn't get back to the line of scrimmage. The Golden Hurricane blew that up. Johansi Burnett was the first.
And a good job late in that drive by Tulsa, bowing up and forcing this field goal, because remember, that's how the game's played. Offenses today in college football are going to get a ton of yards between the 20s, but it's how you play red zone defense and third down situational defense to try to get off the field.
So here's David Kemp, a new kicker. This is from 36 yards out. This will be his first time kicking. He's a freshman. He had a broken foot on his plant leg, so it's finally healthy and getting his first action. And he missed it right.
And that was a bad miss. That was a nervous miss, and that was pushed right from the get-go.
We've got no score. We've played about 5 here in Tulsa. No score here in the first quarter in Tulsa. Memphis, 12 plays, went 72 yards, missed a 36-yard field goal. So now here's Tulsa. And here's a look at David Brin, fourth-year junior. First season, though, as a starter. You know, 2 weeks ago, he was the AAC Offensive Player of the Week. Last week against Houston, different story. 3 picks and just 1 touchdown. And he hands that one off to Shamari Brooks. Shamari Brooks picks up a couple, and Brooks now about 8 yards away from becoming 5th all-time in yards with 3,000. He gets another carry over that right side.
And if you get a little feel of this at home, the theme is tempo. Both of these teams, when they're cranking, they're going to go as fast as the game allows.
Brooks again. And he's right there at the marker.
And because this is who I think Philip Montgomery wants Tulsa to be offensively, it's that Art Briles offense at Baylor, where you want to be kind of evenly divided between explosive run game and then vertical pass game.
And Shamari Brooks now the 5th player in school history to reach 3,000 yards in his career. Brin back to pass, flushed, and he's got some room to run, and knocked out of bounds by Thomas Pickens.
Wow, he got tagged on the sideline. There was a combination route to the left side, and this is where Brin has made mistakes. He holds the ball too long. You got to get out of there, and he was fortunate this time, but typically that has got him into trouble.
Screen to the outside, and that's complete to Josh Johnson. Johnson, of course, the transfer from Iowa State. So 3rd down coming here for the Golden Hurricane, 3rd and 2.
And so coming into this year, Tulsa was a really veteran team. They were returning essentially all their starters, I think officially including special teams, 21 guys. The question was quarterback, Davis Brand. What was he going to bring to the table? I think he's been pretty decent, except for those bad mistakes. He's thrown 8 interceptions thus far this year.
Steven Anderson has checked into the backfield. 3rd and 2. They give it to Anderson. He's the power back. And he keeps the legs churning, and he may have just gotten himself a first down. They move the sticks. It is first down for Tulsa.
Anderson at 6'2", 242, and he comes in to be the hammer in situations just like that. There wasn't a lot of good blocking at the point of attack, but Anderson wouldn't got his anyway.
Brin looking down the right side, and that's too high. It was in the direction of Josh Johnson. Let's take a look at our Chick-fil-A impact players for this game, Kel.
Well, for Memphis, we've already talked about Calvin Austin. He has elite speed, and then the linebacker, J.J. Russell, leads the country in tackles, and then Brooks is a complete running back, and Jackson Player is a handful out at the defensive end position.
And so is Anderson, who gets this carry. Stays on his feet and close to another first down. And he's in Tiger territory. That's a 9-yard pickup.
and an invitation to go as fast as possible as Brooks comes back into the game.
So 3rd down and 1 for Tulsa. It's Brooks. It's another 1st down. Let's go down to the field and Lauren Sisler.
Hey guys, it's worth noting that 1-4 record. Kelly, you said it, they're returning 21 starters, and this is one of the most veteran teams in program history. Building off of last year's championship run, they just don't feel their record indicates their potential. Coach Montgomery said this program is in good standings. They just need to veer off to the right track. Good play after good play leads to confidence. Wins lead to confidence, and that's the biggest thing they're looking at tonight. Playing through all 3 phases, and they've got to finish.
Well, that was a good play to Juan Carlos Santana, and another 1st down. Bren again looking left. Plenty of time. He's going to keep it. Crossed the 25 and chased out of bounds at the 22. Thomas Pickens chased him out of bounds, but not before Bren picked up 13.
And a good decision by Bren. Josh Johnson was going to the post, but it was double covered, and a lot of times when the quarterback keeps it, it's a good decision from that position.
1st and 10 from the 22. Brooks to the right side, cuts back. And he's inside the red zone and brought down at the 13-yard line.
That's where you see that great vision. You get the defensive line running laterally to the sideline, plant the right foot, and hit that crease, and Shamari Brooks did just that.
Is Brooks again. Brooks cuts it back. Brooks, touchdown, Tulsa. Second touchdown of the season for Shamari Brooks. This one from 14 yards out.
And because this is who Philip Montgomery, the play caller and head coach, wants to be offensively. A dynamic, explosive run game to supplement the vertical, explosive pass game. This drive is what that looks like in Tulsa's offense.
Shamari Brooks' 25th career touchdown. The extra point is good. And the Golden Hurricane strike first. 7-0, our score.
ESPN College Football Primetime is presented by Sonos. Experience game-changing sound made easy, and in part by Taco Bell.
Look at some of the conference champions. Cincinnati last year, Memphis 2 years before that. And Mr. 3,000, Shamari Brooks, 3,000 yards, a touchdown as well.
That didn't take it very long to get to that number.
You're right, 13 plays, 80 yards. They do it in 4 minutes, 30 seconds for Tulsa. Let's go to the studio, my main man, Kevin Connors. Wow.
What's up with that?
How about that? Bama in a dogfight. 7-0 our score here. And Memphis, second offensive possession. Brandon Thomas starts in the backfield. Hennigan to the outside, and that's complete to Calvin Austin. And Austin on a pickup of a 4.
And tempo off the run pass option, the zone inside, the flat route outside.
Here's the freshman, cuts it back. The freshman explodes. Tyneal Martin saved what could have been 6, but Brandon Thomas exploded through there. A big pickup of 18. Hennigan looking to the outside, Down the sideline, incomplete. He was looking at Eddie Lewis. Trayvon Fuller in coverage.
And Hennigan just doing a really nice job of picking the man-to-man matchup. Fuller was in press coverage outside on Lewis, but magnificent coverage right there by Fuller.
He's the best cover corner in this Tulsa secondary. He's been playing with a broken left hand. Hennigan, play fake, intercepted. That's Fuller. Across the 40, down the sideline, cuts it back and brought down at the 15. They went to the well maybe one too many times. We talked about how good of a cover guy Fuller is.
Yeah, you may want to pick on somebody else, and this is Calvin Austin running the zone slant. So RPO, zone run inside, slant outside, and Fuller just beats a very speedy receiver, Calvin Austin, that runs really good routes, by the way, but that is a tremendous play by Trayvon Fuller.
Second pick of the season for him, 44-yard return, and for him, let's see if he gets that Juju hat. You know, that's what they wear.
Juju hat.
They wear the Juju hat.
You want that? You want the Juju hat, right?
Hey, we can all use some good Juju.
We get a Juju hat up here in the booth. I wonder what that would look like. Darren would be the first one to, our spotter, Darren Custer, would be the first one to wear it up in this booth. But yeah, that's a pretty good looking hat.
There you go.
I think I could rock that hat right there.
So first down for Tulsa. They give it to Brooks. And Brooks is brought down at the 9. Cole Mashburn makes the stop.
And Parham, the guard, pulling from the left side to the right side as we're still looking at that Juju hat.
Hey, I like the feather.
Oh, it matches their shoes.
Yeah, it does. And the throwback uniforms they got on right now. Brooks again brought down at the 6. Third down. Bryn Kebbett. And good play. Quindell Johnson. He's the best playmaker on this defense. Good stop.
Yeah, and I ID'd the wrong offensive lineman. It was Tyler Smith, number 56. The left tackle was a freshman All-American a year ago, and they pull him. He's incredibly athletic, and 2 plays ago on the run game, he was pulling from his left tackle position, leading Brooks to the right side.
So fourth down, and it looks like Tulsa is going to go for it here. Fourth down. They're looking at about 2 for first. And I don't think he's going to get it. I don't think Brooks got it. Cole Mashburn met him.
Not even close, because not even close. You know what I don't understand, how you're a spread team a lot of times, and it's 4th and a couple, and you put extra tight ends in the box, which brings extra defenders in a box. This is one really big missed opportunity right here by Tulsa.
Could have had some points, but the Memphis defense wasn't having it. 7-0 our score. Make sure you start your NFL Sunday at 10 a.m. Eastern with the Countdown crew on ESPN and the ESPN app. So 1st and 10 here for Memphis. Brandon Thomas, Asa Martin in the backfield. This is Thomas. And Thomas over that left side. And a pickup of a couple. So far in this game, 1 for 3 in the red zone. We've had a missed field goal by Memphis. Of course, Tulsa goes for it on 4th down. They can't convert. And it's Thomas again. And maybe just a yard. And Memphis now running the football after Hennigan throws that interception. Just the 2nd interception so far on the season for him. And, you know, one of the things that, you know, head coach Silverfield said that he's cool as a cucumber.
Yeah, it's how you respond to those mistakes, and he hasn't had many of them, no question. And now Memphis is slowing it down a little bit, gathering their composure, and Tulsa defensively wants the ball to be in the hands of the young quarterback late in this game, preferably.
Marquavius Weaver has checked in. 3rd and 7 from their own 10 for Memphis. The freshman has got time across the middle. That's complete to Calvin Austin. You see the speed. Cuts it back. and brought down at the 35. Trayvon Fuller made the stop, but I'll tell you what, Calvin Austin, he's got track speed, runs a 4.340, and you saw it on display there. And we got a player down for Tulsa.
I think we have 2 of them down. The question instantly becomes, because with a team trying to go as fast as Memphis, is there a signal on the sideline that, you know, 1 or more players are going to go down to slow this thing down?
Yeah, Justin Wright and Trayvon Fuller, both of them. Let's see.
Yeah, watch down on the sideline, and I think both of them got the memo.
Yeah, right.
And that can be sent to the conference now, conference office, to be reviewed. And I don't know what the ramifications are, but that was not a good look, and they're trying to eliminate that from football. But the way it started is trying to slow teams down like Memphis that want to go as fast as the game will allow them to go in terms of officiating.
Weaver stays into the backfield for Memphis. And he gets the carry. And pounds forward for about 4. You know, Austin had that big catch. Look, he leads the FBS in yards per catch. He averages 18 yards a catch. He's second in the FBS in YAC. That's yards after the catch, because he averages 10 after the catch. And right now, the only receiver in the country in FBS with over 600 yards receiving and 7 touchdowns. He's been remarkable. And that's complete to Eddie Lewis. And that's a first down from Memphis. They'll move the sticks. Tyon Davis in coverage.
The slant route outside by Lewis, and good coverage once again by Davis.
Hennigan to pass, looking at Austin, got him. Oh, through his hands. Had it, dropped it. Excuse me, Rock Taylor.
And Hennigan doesn't really seem to have an overly strong arm. I think he's an athlete at 6'3", 200 that's going to get bigger and stronger. He's still in his young career, but it's about the timing. It's about the anticipation that he has as he processes information so incredibly fast.
Calvin Austin at the bottom of your screen. The give is to Weaver. He ran into a Golden Hurricane wall.
This is where Tulsa wants Memphis to have to earn a living tonight offensively, is 3rd and long with the youngster. Tulsa does a lot of rush 3, drop 8. In a pass situation, they may play some games up front, but I would suggest not throwing to Trayvon Fuller, because we know how he can break on a ball already.
Austin at the top of your screen. Hennigan looking at him, throws, got him over the middle. Calvin Austin, he's on pace to set a single season record for Memphis. That's a pickup of 19.
And Austin was on Tyon Davis this time, but watch the quick release. I mean, in the route running, he's a track guy, but he's a consummate route runner at receiver now.
Reaver, maybe 2.
There's track speed, and then there's the quickness that Austin has in running route. That's impressive.
4.3 speed as we've completed 1 quarter here in Tulsa. It's homecoming at Chapman Stadium. Both of these squads looking for their first conference victory. We've had some turnovers and 1 touchdown. 7-0 our score, second quarter when we come back. Welcome back. Second quarter beginning here. 7-0 our score. You know, Memphis on the season had been great in first quarters. They had outscored their opponents 61-20, but put a goose egg up here in the first quarter. This is the 10th play coming on this drive. And Hennigan, the screen. They had it set up for Austin, but through his hands. Let's go down to the field and our Lauren Sisler.
Yeah, when Calvin Austin came to Memphis, he was a track star playing football. Now the former walk-on is a scholarship football player with top-end speed like a track star. Look, he's even gotten faster since he got to Memphis. He had an official 4.38 coming out of high school. Now he's at a low 4.2. So speed, explosiveness are two of his greatest attributes out here on the field.
Oh my goodness.
He's at the bottom of your screen. Hennigan goes up top though, and almost intercepted. And it could have been the second pick of the day for Trayvon Fuller.
And Hennigan started on the left side, and his progression took him back to Trayvon Fuller on the right side. And you can see Fuller is just lurking in the weeds, begging that young quarterback to throw it all the way across the field late. And Fuller almost got his second, like you said, because.
So they're going to look for a field goal. This is from 53. Again, it's the freshman David Kemp making his first collegiate start. He's already missed from 36. And that's low and no good.
That had no shot. That was low and left, and obviously I think Memphis trying to figure out what this young man can do, and right now I think the young man has a little nerves going on.
Let's go to the studio. Kevin Connors. Wow, how about that?
Upside down world we're living
Yeah, I
in.
know.
What in the world is happening here?
Crazy games today.
I love every bit of it.
Anthony Watkins in the backfield. He gets the carry. How about the shake? And he's close to a first down. Jacoby Francis with the stop.
And Watkins getting probably more touches tonight because Deneric Prince, their speedster, is apparently still out.
This is Watkins again. You know, the coaches love him. They say he's raw but talented. Had some big runs for this Tulsa squad against Arkansas State. He's a transfer from Missouri.
Yeah, Watkins had 7 for $115 and a touchdown against Arkansas State. Prince is the guy they miss in that lineup. It's a deep quarterback room, but Prince is the guy that's the home run hitter. He has elite speed. And then Brooks is probably the most complete back in that running back room.
This is 3rd and 1. And good stop. J.J. Russell. You want to talk about a tackling machine, leads the country in tackles and solo tackles, and he came shot out of a cannon.
And from the right edge of the offense, and you may want to block number 23. He's going to flash across your screen right there. And that closing speed and the impact. You can see why J.J. Russell came into tonight leading all the nation in tackles.
So Lachlan Wilson punting things away. Kobe Drake standing back at his own 15. Calls for the fair catch. 37-yard punt. Tiger football when we come back.
NHL, ESPN, back together again.
NHL back on ESPN. The Memphis offense back on the field, and coming into this game, you know, turnovers have been a problem for Memphis, especially fumbles. They've already got one turnover. It was a pick. And here's Brandon Thomas. And Thomas over the right side. Coming into this football game, the Tigers had fumbled 4 times in the last 2 games, total of 6 fumbles on the season. Here's Hennigan through the air, and that's complete. That's Rock Taylor. That's another first down, his first career catch.
And in that turnover margin, because is where you see Memphis giving up those leads, 2 double-digit leads in the last 2 weeks. Well, that's how you do it. Play woeful defense at times, and then the offense goes dormant and starts turning the ball over.
Hennigan looking to see what Tulsa's doing defensively. Tulsa showed some pressure. And it's to Thomas. Thomas cuts back, and he's close to a first down. Now Memphis, their first drive, they missed a 36-yard field goal. Their second offensive possession, they threw the interception. The third, another missed field goal. So here's the fourth. And Hennigan underthrew Taylor.
There was late pressure on Hennigan because he actually had Taylor if he would have had just a little bit more time to throw that football.
3rd down and 3. Asa Martin has checked into the backfield. Calvin Austin at the top of your screen. They've targeted him 6 times already. Hennigan looking over the middle, and that's complete. Caden Prescorn, the tight end, 11-yard pickup. He's in Golden Hurricane territory, and they go with tempo. And they give it to Weaver. Cuts back, maybe 1. Justin Wright makes the stop.
That last pass completion by Hennigan, they were running a mesh route, and the tight end is actually the 3rd read on that. That's where you get a sense of how well schooled this young man has been. Remember, his dad was Hennigan's high school coach. I guarantee you this, that Mr. Hennigan can coach extremely well. His son is well prepared for the college level.
Here's Hennigan. Steps up, keeps it. Little shake, and brought down at the 40 of Tulsa. Trayvon Reeves makes the stop. Pickup of 6.
And Tulsa will kind of go back and forth as they funnel Memphis to 3rd and 4. They run a 3-3-5 defensively, does Tulsa, but sometimes in this situation right here, because instead of playing a lot of clutter and dropping 8, they will show pressure late and get after the youngster. We'll see if they can harass him here on 3rd and 4.
3rd down and 4. Memphis 5 of 7 on 3rd down thus far. Into the flat, that's complete to Weaver. And Weaver's got another first down.
And you saw that late show of pressure. 2 defenders from Tulsa sliding to the edges and adding to that pass rush, but the outlet receiver was Weaver, and there's that processing of the information again. Hennigan gets it out on time. Double-edged pressure, the ball needs to come out, and it comes out quickly to Weaver.
Kylan Watkins has checked in. He's in the backfield for Memphis. And they give it to him. Watkins, right side, bounces outside. He's inside the 20. And forced out of bounds at the 19. Bryson Powers brings him down, and once again, it's a 12-yard pickup. Memphis in the red zone for the 3rd time. This is the 10th play of this drive. First and 10 for the Tigers. Keep in mind, the last 2 times they've been inside the red zone, they've missed field goals. And that play never had a chance, thanks to Dorian Hopkins.
Memphis has been considerably better, I think, running between the tackles. They try to get to the edges, as you see Hopkins is going to get after right there. That's just simply not taking the right angle by the offensive line, and Hopkins just takes the right angle and blows that play up.
Loss of 4. 2nd and 14. Hennigan steps up, throws it to the outside. Good shake. John Dykes. And inside The 10-yard line brought down at the 5. 17-yard pickup.
And Sean Dykes is one of the most prolific tight ends in school history here at Memphis. But the bottom line is he looks like a wide receiver to me.
You're right.
He wears 5. He splits out more than he does in line. And he runs really, really good routes.
He's at the top of your screen now in motion. He's one of their red zone targets. They gave it to Thomas, the freshman, and he's in. Touchdown, Memphis. His 5th touchdown of the season, a 5-yard TD run for the freshman.
And that's another way that you see the use of Sean Dykes, the tight end. Remember, we showed him clear out wide, and then he comes in and runs a counter to the running back, Thomas. Really good use of a tight end / hybrid wide receiver and using him in the blocking scheme. That's a tough tell by the defense.
And the freshman kicker finally gets one. The extra point is good.
Maybe that'll settle him down a little bit.
Absolutely. And we're tied up at 7. Memphis going 12 plays, 80 yards. They do it in 5 minutes and 32 seconds. We're all tied up at 7 here in Tulsa. All tied up at 7 here in the second quarter. Hey, listen, tomorrow night, we got an NBA preseason doubleheader for you on ESPN and the app. Thunder taking on the defending NBA champion, the Bucks, at 7:30 Eastern. Then it's out the Staples Center. Suns and Lakers. LeBron, and that means Chris Paul for the Phoenix Suns. And, you know, we got a Chris Paul here for Tulsa. You know, Chris Paul, the leader of the Phoenix Suns. Well, Chris Paul, also the leader of this football team, not only on the offensive line, but overall leader. He's a member of the NCAA advisory committee as well. Here's the kick, Noah Grant. Into the studio, Kevin Connors. Oh, how about that? All right, thank you, Kev. Here's a good look. Chris Paul, he has played in 37 games, 33 starts. And the coaches just gush about his leadership on this football team. There's Shamari Brooks in the backfield. And they give the reverse here. Keelan Stokes, little jet sweep. Let's go down to the field and Lauren.
Yeah, Chris Paul's leadership shows up everywhere. He's part of the chair of the league's SAC executive board, and this year was added to the NCAA committee to promote cultural diversity and equity. You talked about that. For Chris Paul, it's important that he has a voice for all student athletes so they are supported properly throughout their entire collegiate careers and beyond.
That's great. Here's Brooks breaking tackles. He's got a first down. Jalen Allen stopped him. They're going to mark the football.
Chris Paul doing a good job of pulling right here, moving from his right to his left, getting ahead of the tight end Ethan Hall and creating some room for the running back. That young man does it all.
Here's Bryn down the sideline. Incomplete. He was looking at Sam Crawford. But I think that football hit Owens.
Rodney Owens comes off the hash and gets there late. Don't look back for the football, just break up the pocket. In this case, it was break up the pass with the middle of your back. So many times because defenders will panic late. When you allow the receiver to tell you when the ball's in the area, just break up the pocket where the ball is coming any way you can.
From their own 37, Bryn, that's complete. Josh Johnson with the catch. About 3-4 yards short of a first down.
Davis Bryn does not lack arm strength. That's one thing that he absolutely has a strong arm. I think because of the lack of actually playing, his situational awareness has lacked that has led to 8 interceptions on the season.
Bren almost threw a pick there. He's looking at Ezra Naylor.
I think it was Rodney Owen that was in breaking that up again, but that's what I'm talking about. Sometimes Bren seems to get locked on receivers, and it's like he's drug into a black hole. He can't really get his eyes off of a guy, and that almost got him into trouble right there with Rodney Owen.
Lachlan Wilson in to punt things away for Tulsa. Kobe Drake back. Good kick. And they're going to down that inside the 10. 49-yard punt by the Golden Hurricane. 7 here in the second quarter. A little under 6 minutes to play, and this Memphis squad has certainly been successful. You know, you think of this, generally this is a basketball school, but boy, football has been good to this program. 68 wins, most in the conference since they joined the AAC in 2013. Brandon Thomas, the freshman, in the backfield along with Hennigan. And it's Thomas over the right side. And nice pickup of about 5, Justin Wright with the stop.
Yeah, that 68 wins puts them into elite company. One of 7 programs, or actually 5 programs with 8 wins in the last 7 seasons. Look at the other 4. You're
Wow.
keeping pretty good company.
Yeah.
That's a high rent district right there.
Darren Ray looks to be the injured Golden Hurricane on the field. As they tend to him, let's take a break. Tied up at 7 here in Tulsa. All right, Kevin, thank you. How about Kentucky as they continue to roll? And back here, they are putting Kendarian Ray on the cart. And listen, his leg did not look in good shape here. It was turned away. It shouldn't have been turned. He's the redshirt junior and their tackle leader for Tulsa. Disappointing for that young man. And they'll obviously cart him away for a nice round of applause. Homecoming here at Tulsa. Brian Custer alongside Kelly Stauffer. So 7-7 our score here. Memphis with the football, and I guess the 4th time the charm for him. They finally got into the end zone.
Yeah.
After a couple of times in the red zone, missing some field goals. What do we expect here from Memphis?
Yeah, it's interesting that Memphis has been pretty balanced, but they've just missed some red zone opportunities. The second interception by the young quarterback. Tulsa hasn't been able to throw the football. That's incredible. They've been just the opposite this year. They haven't ran it well, but they've been able to throw it whenever they wanted to.
And there's Thomas, the freshman. Maybe a yard back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it.
I think both defenses have really had, for the most part, the upper hand. Closing out drives in the red zone, and they're both playing a similar style. Rush 3, drop 8, force offenses and offensive play callers, quarterbacks, to be really patient.
And how ironic is that, considering both of these squads, defensive, have been very generous to offenses this
That's
season.
a good way to put it.
3rd and 4. Hennigan looking. Plenty of time. Runs it. He's got a first down and upended on the sideline. Tyon Davis takes the legs out of the freshman.
And Hennigan goes Superman. The extension of the play is not this young man's strong suit, but you obviously have that on the shelf going forward because that guy can be fleet of foot when he needs to be. But that was a good decision, and Tad loves every minute of it.
Absolutely. That's the type of run that fires up your squad. You see your quarterback do something like that.
No question. I wouldn't recommend it very often, however.
Gives this one to Asa Martin. Maybe a yard.
That counter play once again didn't work very well that time.
Let's go down to the field, our Lauren Sisler.
Yeah, guys, I know why Dave, Hennigan's dad, was all smiles there, because he preached to him he needs to live in the weight room if he's going to be a star quarterback, and that's what he did his sophomore year. He actually put on 27 pounds, and truthfully, he still isn't developed quite yet. You guys will love this. His dad told me that Seth does not shave and barely has any hair on his chest, so I'm sure he'll love to watch this back on national TV when we
I'm
tell him
sure
the
he'll
secrets.
love you saying that for sure.
I know, exactly. He's a true freshman. He's probably still drinking Similac. He throws that, and that's complete to the outside to Asa Martin down the sideline, but they say out of bounds.
Well, he's listed at 6'3", 200 pounds, and I was watching him warm up before the game, and that's not happening. I think some time in the weight room, if that young man put on 27 pounds based on what we're seeing, my oh my, spend some time in the weight room, he will get bigger, he will get stronger under the tutelage of the strength and conditioning coach at this level, and he does so many things well for a young quarterback.
3rd and 10 coming here from Memphis, 3rd and long. Memphis 2 for 3 when they've had 3rd and long. 7 of 9 on 3rd down so far today. And we've got a timeout by Memphis. Let's go back to the studio and Kevin Connors. Yeah, I did, and what a finish.
Watched it, yeah.
What a
I thought
finish.
Last year was for the ages,
Right.
but this is for the ages times 2. Yeah, there's some amazing games in that rivalry.
So 3rd and 10 coming here from Memphis. From their own 23. Austin, Dykes, they're at the bottom of your screen. Hennigan looks their way, and he's going to take off. Spins, and he's got another 1st down from Memphis. Tyon Davis, another stop.
And certainly Hennigan was looking for Calvin Austin, but it was Fuller that had him man-to-man, and then a safety over top. There was no way that Austin was getting that football.
11-yard pickup. Hennigan to the outside to Austin. Stays on his feet. He's in Tulsa territory. Trayvon Fuller with the stop.
There's that matchup again. Fuller on Calvin Austin, and it's amazing that you can be that fast and run good routes like Austin has learned to do.
Hennigan again, and looking for Austin down the sideline, and overthrows him. And again with Fuller.
And we've seen that matchup a ton. Calvin Austin with his elite speed, but don't underestimate his route running. Trayvon Fuller is a really good press corner. You can see that left hand has kind of a club on it. Does Fuller. He broke that hand earlier in the year. Didn't prevent him from catching the football earlier in this when he had that INT.
Austin 5 catches, 70 yards thus far. They keep it on the ground. And it's Watkins. 5-yard pickup. 2:30 till the half.
Because you talked about it earlier. What Memphis will do is they will put Sean Dykes and Calvin Austin on the same side, trying to get the right matchup.
3rd down coming. And Memphis has been really successful on this down. Looked like they had their wide receiver screen set up for Rock Taylor.
False start. Offense number 75. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
And it's Matt Dale, the junior, right tackle.
Third and 11 in this point in time in the game as we're closing in on 2 minutes in this first half. Certainly, Seth Hennigan, the young quarterback, needs to be careful right here.
First offensive penalty from Memphis. So 3rd and 10 now from the Tulsa 49. Hennigan looking, throwing, complete. That's to Kobe Drake. He's about 3-4 yards shy of a first down. Tyon Davis with the stop. What do you do?
Good job by the quarterback, just taking what they give him and setting up point in time right here where certainly Memphis is going to have to make a decision. I think the way this game has gone, you have to punt this football away. You've missed some opportunities. You don't want to give Tulsa excellent field position to get a good taste in their mouth as they go into halftime.
Well, for Memphis, they know they want to try to get some points because they know at the beginning of the second half, Tulsa will get the football. Hey, look, our Week 5 Monday Night Football matchup. You got Lamar Jackson, the 3-1 Ravens, Carson Wentz, the Colts. Monday Night Countdown starts 6 Eastern. Game coverage starting at 8 Eastern. ESPN, ESPN Deportes, and of course the ESPN app.
Look at those numbers.
Oh man, Lamar Jackson. He's the matter of fact, he's the NFL's 4th leading rusher right now.
Kind of getting beat up though a little bit.
Yeah, he did.
Coach Harbaugh is trumpeting that to try to protect the quarterback, but when your quarterback becomes a running back, you lose the protection that you get at the quarterback position.
4th and 4 from the Tulsa 44. Austin in motion. Hennigan looking for Austin. Got him. First down.
The reason for that motion is to get a better matchup. They didn't want Austin on Fuller. That motion gets Austin on Tyon Davis out wide, and then it's just snapping off that speed route.
76 yards receiving now. Hennigan throws. Little jump throw. And Keelan Watkins, here's a flag.
Holding. Offense number 75. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
I think that was Justin Wright who applied that pressure on Hennigan.
Matt Dale, the right tackle, is the one that gets called for the hold. He's clear up at the right side, adding a 4th rusher that actually gets to Hennigan. But so many times Tulsa will get a really good push with only rushing those 3 down linemen in this 3-3-5 scheme that they went to in 2018.
Minute 24 till the half. Hennigan looking. He's going to keep it. Shakes a man. Dips down at the 35. 11-yard pickup. Christian Williams the stop. Minute to the half. Here's Hennigan and again. Plenty of time and throws it away. And a flag.
Yeah, this is going to be receiver, ineligible receiver downfield. There was at least 2 offensive linemen that were about 6 yards deep. That run pass option, that happens that way sometimes when the offensive line thinks the ball's going to be given up.
The quarterback threw the ball away. 3rd down.
So no penalty. Under a minute, 3rd and 10 for Memphis. Again, Tulsa will get the football to begin the second half. Crucial possession here for Memphis. Hennigan steps up, throws, got a man over the middle, that's complete. To Javon Ivory. He's still running. Ivory brought down inside the 5 at the 2-yard line. Ivory had 73 yards, 2 touchdown catches last week against Temple, but 34-yard pickup there
And a good job of Ivory kind of throttling down in that structure on the back end by Tulsa, electing to rush 3, drop 8. You got to find the void, and Ivory did just that.
And Memphis will go to the eye. And Tulsa's going to call the timeout.
Takes their second charge, timeout of the half. This is a 30-second timeout.
The timing to Ivory is part of it. Good ball placement and good anticipation leads to yards after catch so many times, and then Ivory does a lot of that on his own, but so much structure on the back end, you have to be patient. Only rushing 3 was Tulsa. There's going to be time most of the occasions when you only rush 3, but you have to find that void on the back end, and Hennigan does that, and the quarterback loves that yards after catch.
How about the Tigers? 9 of 12 so far in this game on 3rd down.
Yeah, and sometimes just not paying it off in the red zone. That's been their problem. And so now we'll see if they can finish right here, as they've been exceptional, like you said, because on 3rd down.
You can take a look and see what the freshman has done. Hennigan, 15 of 24 for 187. He does have the interception. 2 tight ends here. They go with the I formation. Thomas Weaver. The give. Touchdown. Thomas, the freshman. 2nd touchdown of the night for the freshman. So this is a young man who's had some fumbling problems of late, but he has certainly redeemed himself tonight.
And Memphis would love for Brandon Thomas to be their guy, kind of be the table setter for this entire offense, but you can't give the young man the football if he's going to put it on the ground. So far, so good tonight, and he can finish runs like that, a combination of power and speed.
Here's another freshman, David Kemp, for the extra point. And he missed it. So the freshman has missed 2 field goals and now an extra point. After the Tigers go 15 plays, 93 yards, they get the touchdown, but not the extra point.
And the punter, Joe Doyle, has been doing the place kicking as well until tonight. And David Kemp, the true freshman, his plant foot was injured. So This is literally his debut, like you said earlier in the show. I wonder in the second half if Coach Silverfield goes back to Joe Doyle, the punter, to do his place kicking as well.
This season, along with their contributions to university general scholarship funds, for every field goal and extra point made, Allstate will also be donating to the American Red Cross to help with disaster relief efforts, and we certainly thank Allstate. Noah Grant to kick things away. Montgomery and Johnson back deep. And Tulsa will start from their own 25.
Because what do you think Tulsa does right here? They have 1 timeout starting at your own 25.
Yeah, listen, you get in the football to begin the second half.
Yeah, that's a good point. You don't want to be greedy typically, even with under 40 seconds. If you run something and happen to bust it, you can hurry up and spike it, still keep your timeout, and maybe try to make hay then. But I don't think you want to put the ball in harm's way right here.
Anthony Watkins comes out. And how about the center snapped the football before anybody was ready.
Whoops. The official was literally standing in front of the quarterback.
Yes.
It's hard to see the snap when the official is in your line of vision.
This is why you don't do anything with 38 seconds left until the half. Just
the
run
official
the football.
in the back of the head. It was an accurate snap, so we have to give the center that. But I'm not exactly sure what Wheeler was seeing right there.
That's going to be on Sports Center, not Top 10. Bren to the outside to Josh Johnson. That's a pickup of 15. You move the sticks. Clock is running. Again, Bryn through the air. He's got a man. He's got Johnson. Oh, and he falls down. So just like that, now you're in field goal position.
And Memphis was in a 3-deep zone. There should be a defender outside the numbers to that side that was just simply out of position.
32-yard pickup. Bryn again. High caught. Crawford, touchdown, Tulsa. "28-yard touchdown pass, and Tulsa goes right down the field, and in 3 plays."
This drive started with 38 seconds and 1 timeout. There's still 11 seconds on the board, and they never used their timeout.
Zach Long, the extra point is good. 3 plays, 75 yards. They do it in 27 seconds. And that missed extra point rears its ugly head from Memphis as they give up a touchdown.
And just obviously bad defense. There are 3 deep, and a bad break on the football when you didn't really need it, but also not impeding the progress of receivers down the field when you have a ton of structure underneath. 3 deep, a ton of traffic to work through in that zone defense, but the defenders weren't really squeezing the routes. They were letting receivers run free, and Sam Crawford says, you know what, I'll go ahead and take advantage of this.
Crawford has had back-to-back 100-yard receiving games for Tulsa.
Tulsa gets the opening kick in the second half,
Yes.
as you said. That kicking game for Memphis that was awry because of the youngster in David Kemp debuting.
This is that was the 4th TD drive of under a minute for the Golden Hurricane this season.
Yeah, Tulsa against Arkansas State. 21 points in 29 seconds.
I take you from our plan to this play. It's brought to you by Northwestern Mutual. 3-play drive, 75 yards, and they do it in just 27 seconds. Bryn to Crawford and 6.
Bad defense, but advantageous offense. The first 2 were to Josh Johnson and then to Sam Crawford. Oh my Lord, that didn't take very long.
So Hennigan will take a knee. And we'll go to the locker room with a Tulsa with a 1-point lead. 13-14. That's our score here at the half. Let's send you to the studio, my main man, KC, Kevin Connors. Welcome back to ESPN College Football Prime Time. It is presented by Sonos. 14-13 is our score. Tulsa with a 1-point lead. You know, Memphis, they've missed 2 field goals and an extra point because they had their freshman kicker who made his debut tonight. But you know, take a look at this. Joe Doyle, the junior, warming up here. It looks like they're going back to Old Faithful.
I think you might be right. The youngster, David Kemp, looked a little shaky, to say the least, in his debut, and that's really the difference, right? The inability for Memphis to do with their possessions. They had the ball all the time. Tulsa only ran 28 plays in that half and finished, obviously, very strongly at the end of that first half.
And Tulsa, of course, getting the football here as we begin the second half. Hey, look, they went 75 yards and did it
the blink of an eye.
27 seconds to score right before the half.
Tulsa has been averaging 70-plus plays a game. They had 28 in the first half. And Memphis didn't run and hide, so Tulsa has to be feeling really good about that.
You can look at what Davis Bryn has done. first drives compared to what he did on that last drive, where they just torched that Memphis defense and got it a score right before the half. So here we go to begin the second half. Bren again to the outside, in and out of the hands of Keelan Stokes. Let's go down to the field and Lauren.
Hey guys, talking to Coach Montgomery going into the locker room, he said we need to build up our confidence. We need to build on those plays, and they did that. Going 27 seconds down the yard, 3 plays, 75 yards, 27 seconds. That's the spark that these guys needed offensively, but he said we got to convert on third down. That's where it starts, third down, especially third and shorts. They were 3 of 6 and 0 and 2 in the second quarter alone, and defensively they need to get off the field in third down and do a better job of wrapping up Memphis in tackling.
Bren under pressure, J.J. Russell. That's incomplete. Looking at Crawford.
Yeah, to Lauren's point, they're going to have third down right now is Tulsa. And Tulsa just simply didn't have the ball long enough in that first half to really get in a rhythm. They only had 28 plays, as we talked about, had it for less than 10 minutes. And so it's hard to get a feel, but it didn't take them long in that quick strike the last time they had the football in that first half.
Third down, Bren, plenty of time, down the seam, incomplete. He was looking at Stokes again.
And Keelan Stokes just doesn't look right. He looks a little gimpy. Yes. I don't know if it's a hammy or what it is, but Stokes has led this team in receiving the last 3 years. This is a switch route. 2 receivers switch positions on the fly, and then Stokes is running the inside fade and just doesn't look right. He does get tangled up a little bit, but he doesn't look right at the end of that.
Lachlan Wilson with the punt. Kobe Drake calls for the fair catch at his own 22. 53-yard punt, no return. And you can see Stokes being tended to on the sideline. So now here comes Memphis. Engineered a touchdown last time they had the football, Hennigan did, but missed that extra point, which has been the difference thus far.
And they're trying to get Kelvin Austin the football. 9 targets, 6 catches in that first half, 77 yards. He's the guy that I have to target in this second half as well. Hennigan.
That's complete. Little to Austin. That's a first down and plenty more.
See, and because guaranteed touches just like that. You don't let the defense dictate when I get my best playmaker the football.
14-yard pickup. Here's Thomas. Running hard. And the freshman has got himself another first down from Memphis. That's a 10-yard pickup for the freshman. Thomas now with 66 yards rushing. He's averaging about 5 yards a pop. As he gets another carry, and he's across midfield into Golden Hurricane territory. Christian Williams with the stop.
How about the ball security by Brandon Thomas? He's literally holding it with 2 hands and typically carries it in the left hand due to an injury right before he came to campus on that right hand. He almost blew his right hand completely off with a firework just before he was going to report, or actually before his senior year in high school. He had already signed with Memphis, and so now it's left-handed most of the time when he carries the football.
Hennigan looking to pass down the sideline to Kobe Drake. Drake makes the catch at the 17-yard line of Tulsa. 29-yard pass play, and here come the Tigers with tempo.
And the underthrown fade route to the receiver and Martin, the defensive back, simply didn't see it.
Hennigan looking, and he'll throw that one away. He was looking at Lewis.
So many times because 2 receiver and defensive back going vertically, and this one is Kobe Drake matched up on Tyneil Martin, and you can just see right there that Drake sees the football. It's underthrown probably intentionally by Seth Hennigan. His receiver is looking back goes and gets it, and their defensive back Martin didn't see it.
So here's Hennigan, 2nd and 10. And looked like somebody jumped. We got a flag. Saw Kendarin Ray with the crutches.
False start. Offense number 71. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
Evan Fields.
Situational execution by a young quarterback in the offense that he's leading. You can't make pre-snap penalties if you want to get points on the board.
Second and 15 now from the Tulsa 22. Austin at the top of your screen. That's Dykes in motion. They give it to the freshman, and he is met behind the line of scrimmage by Jackson Player. And that's a big loss for the Tigers.
And Tulsa understands that a lot of times that motion tight end, Sean Dykes, he looks like a wide receiver, but when they motion him, many times they want to run behind him, as you see Joe Doyle warming up on the sideline. He's done the kicking this year because the youngster was hurt.
Yep.
And you might see him again if they have to try a field goal attempt right here.
3rd down, 17. Hennigan under pressure. They screen. They set it up to Weaver. Weaver knocked out of bounds at the 11. He's about 4 yards shy of a 1st down. Christian Williams knocks him out of bounds along with Trayvon Reeves. And let's see decision time here. Keep in mind, Memphis went for it.
Well, I can understand that you don't have a ton of confidence in David Kemp, the freshman kicker, but Joe Doyle, the punter, has been doing kicking this year and has done fairly decently.
He was 7 for 9 on the season. Here's Hennigan to pass, throws to the end zone, and his receiver fell down. Austin, incomplete.
I just don't agree with Memphis not wanting to take the lead there. I don't understand what Coach Silverfield's thinking is. Why not? It's a very makeable kick, even for the punter, who's also the backup kicker, Joe Doyle.
Austin with the slip. He thought that pass interference. 1-point lead for Tulsa. One-point lead for Tulsa. That entire break, you saw Coach Ryan Silverfield talking to the referees the entire time. Kel, tell us why.
Well, because of this play we're going to see, Calvin Austin is the receiver that's going to get targeted. He's going to run a post corner deep in the red zone, and Tyon Davis is holding initially and then pushes Austin to the ground. The ball is in the air at this point. That should have been pass interference. If that isn't, I don't know what is.
Anthony Watkins gets the carry, dragging a number of Memphis Tigers with him. You know, Tulsa had 17 plays in the first quarter alone, just 15 cents. Watkins again bounces this one to the outside and brought down by Sanchez Blake.
And Tulsa is now just kind of a sugar huddle, not wanting to go fast, and I don't think they want to go fast. Their defense has played a lot of snaps tonight. You want to go ahead and throttle down a little bit on this 3rd and 2, and certainly you want to convert, but you don't want to go fast and have your defense back out there on this Memphis offense quickly.
Memphis has had the football twice the amount of time that Tulsa's had it. In fact, 23 minutes. Memphis has had it to just 10 for the Golden Hurricane as they get ready to punt. They go 3 and out here.
And you got to have that throw. That is not a difficult pass from Bryn to Juan Carlos Santana just running the Ohio route. And I'm not saying that because of you, but it's just a quick out route. And you got to just put it on him, and you convert and move the chains. And that was an errant pass by Brent.
So Lachlan Wilson is back in to punt things away. Kobe Drake standing back at his own 40. And he shanked it. He shanked it. When we come back, Memphis will have it in Tulsa territory. You're watching the American Conference on ESPN. 1 point lead for Tulsa here in the third quarter. Let's go down to the field in Lauren.
Hey guys, I want to highlight this powerful initiative. These are images of the Kendall Bell here on campus, and surrounding it are motivational messages left by students as part of the American Conference's Powerful Minds campaign in an effort to end the stigma surrounding mental health. This is so important, in one of the many ways this team and others around the league are participating to help students address their mental health.
Did you see that piece on Ryan Day this morning on Game Day?
Yeah.
That was powerful.
You're right.
His message about mental health was incredible.
Just an 11-yard punt by Tulsa. So it's 1st and 10 for the Tigers from the Tulsa 30. Here's Thomas. Met right at the line of scrimmage.
And Memphis once again trying to run behind Sean Dykes. You put Dykes in motion, the hybrid tight end / wide receiver, and so many times the run game is right behind the tight end moving.
Hennigan under pressure, setting up the screen and not having it. Tyron Davis.
Tyron Davis is an aggressive dude and played that quick screen. It was going to be a tunnel screen to a elite speed sprinter in Calvin Austin, and Davis snipped it out and literally was in the hip pocket of Austin all the way.
3rd and 10. Memphis 9 of 13 on 3rd down. Marquavius Weaver. Offset left of Hennigan. To the air, over the middle, complete. Ivory fumbled the football. Oh, incomplete.
And I don't think Ivory completes the catch. A move common to the game, just starts that second step. The left foot gets down, but I think to complete the catch, that right foot would have established him as from a receiver to a runner of the football, and that did not happen.
So this is from 48 yards out, and here's Joe Doyle, the redshirt junior. He had been doing all the place kicking until tonight. He's 7 for 9 on the season. And that one hits the upright. I mean, Memphis is snake bitten when it comes to special teams tonight.
Yeah, this 14-13 game, 3rd missed field goal, 1 missed point after touchdown. And Joe Doyle, who's 7 of 9 before this one, and just absolutely didn't confidently get through the football and push that one right from the get-go. We saw him warming up coming out of the second half, and Philip Montgomery is like, oh my goodness, we got away with it again.
Here's Brooks. Off that left side, Jacoby Francis with the stop. 6-yard pickup for Tulsa.
And I think if you're Tulsa, because you got to go back to this run game a little bit to set the table. I think they've gotten a little bit too fancy. That short drive, 3 complete passes to score a touchdown at the end of the second or the first half. That doesn't mean that's who you are in the second half.
And again, Jamari bounces this one to the outside. And that's a first down. Sanchez Blake makes the stop. This is what Tulsa needs here, 7-yard pickup, because before this drive, they had just 2 drives this quarter and a total of 8 yards. Bren now through the air, looking. He's going to keep it and slides. And they'll mark that one at about the 47 because the mark is where you begin the slide.
And if you're going to go tempo and throw on first down, you have to have Bren making decisions like that.
Brooks, midfield. Wendell Johnson. Wendell makes the stop.
It's going to bring up third and almost 3 yards. This is where Davis Brin can use his legs a little bit as well. It isn't really his staple, but we've already seen him make some athletic plays today. I think that run game is where this offense needs to live to create a little balance.
Tulsa 3 of 8 on third down thus far in this game. Santana in motion. Brin throws, incomplete. Jacoby Francis knocks that one down. He was looking at Ezra Naylor.
And Naylor was going to the corner, and Santana, who was in motion, was going to the flat. So they were going to divide that defender outside in half, but neither one of them were really open. It wasn't well ran by Tulsa. And once again, a missed opportunity on third and completely makeable.
So Wilson back in. Drake calls for the fair catch. Still a 1-point lead for the Golden Hurricane. 37-yard punt. Memphis football when we come back. Here's a few of our upcoming AAC events on ESPN Plus. You know, college basketball is right around the corner, and AAC Media Days, it'll be live from Dallas, and previous men and women's seasons Wednesday, and you can preview those seasons Wednesday, Thursday, starting at 11 a.m. Eastern. Memphis will be led by top 7 recruits. Imoni Bates, Jalen Duran. Their pro day this week had 30 NBA scouts there. That one's to the outside in Austin, complete. From Memphis. Davis in coverage, pickup of 8.
Well, we talked about Memphis wanting to get Austin the football. That's his 14th target, his 9th catch, I believe, this evening. So they're doing that part of it really well. They're just not finishing drives all that well.
Yeah, 3 missed field goals, a missed extra point as well. This is the Watkins.
Because have you ever seen a team use 3 kickers in a game?
I have not.
Well, they have a guy named Noah Grant who kicks off for them as a true freshman. We may see the trifecta before this evening's out for
especially the way things are going tonight.
Trials and travails of the Memphis kick game.
From the pistol. Hennigan, play fake. Looking deep, under pressure, hit, fumble. Justin Wright applied the pressure. And they say Tulsa football. Joseph Anderson comes up with it. We talked about at the beginning, fumbles, and it rears its ugly head here in the second half from Memphis.
And this is exactly why Memphis has lost 2 double-digit leads in the last couple of weeks. They don't have the lead now, but Hennigan wanted a deep shot. That was a play-action pass, hide the football, and he got pressured by Wright. And then Joseph Anderson, the nose guard, just simply wanted that football more than Seth Hennigan did. I think what's going to be reviewed is whether the ball was in the quarterback's hand when Hennigan's hand was coming forward. So it'd be an incomplete forward pass as opposed to a fumble. I don't think that was the case.
If this stands as a fumble. As we take another look, it would be 5 fumbles in the last 3 games from Memphis, 7 so far this season.
And Hennigan had possession of the football, but he wasn't trying to throw the football at that time. He double clutched because of the pressure by Justin Wright, and then the ball came loose as he was trying to tuck it again, step up in the pocket, and remain a passer.
Now it looked at this point that he was going to be the one to recover it. And
Well,
it looked
Josh
like
Anderson
just ripped it out of there.
Yeah, this 6 foot, 275 pounder just said, you know what, this is mine.
Yeah, you're
He
right.
just literally took it away from Hennigan.
And he really, as he was coming to the ground, never had really control of it. But Justin Wright was the one who applied the pressure. And
To further review, the ruling on the field has been confirmed. First down, Tulsa.
so Justin Wright applied the pressure. So far, Wright, 12 tackles, a sack, now a forced fumble. And Tulsa has the football. Second turnover of the night from Memphis. A fumble and an interception. So Brennan Company right at the 20. Shamari Brooks offset left to the outside. Johnson. Good stick. Sanchez Blake.
That's a like it, if you like it, take it type of play by Bryn. Just throwing it out, stacked receivers. Josh Johnson's the second in that stack, and that's exactly where Bryn went with it.
This time he gives it to Shamari Brooks.
I'm not so sure Bryn knew he was giving it to Brooks that time. I think Brooks wanted the football, but it was the same play. They just flipped the formation, and Johnson was in the stack down at the bottom of the screen that time. But Brooks was saying, you know what, I'm going to take my turn this time.
3rd and 1. 2 tight ends. 2 receivers at the top of your screen. It's Brooks. Cuts back. And it's a first down.
Brooks is described with great vision and kind of a darter. Well, that's what darting looks like. Tulsa was 3 for 3 to start this game on 3rd down, then 0 for 6 until that 3rd down right there.
Tulsa 1 for 2 in the red zone tonight. Brooks upended at the 2. And J.J. Russell saved a touchdown.
And if you're Tulsa, you want to go ahead and put the pedal to the metal right here. You're in a good rhythm offensively, and you have the defense from Memphis on their heels.
And it's Brooks again. And it's another touchdown for Shamari Brooks. Three yards out. Second touchdown of the night. 80 yards rushing now for Shamari, who's already become the 5th player in Tulsa history to reach 3,000 yards.
And running behind the best offensive linemen. You have Gadlin, the left guard, pulling, and then you have Tyler Smith, the left tackle, was a freshman All-American a year ago, just pulling and creating enough room for Brooks to get in the end zone.
So Tulsa flips the fumble to 7 points. 21-13 our score. Let's go to the studio. Kevin Connors. Yeah, you're right about that. I mean, you top that off with the Ole Miss game, the Texas game, and we kind of said this at the half. We said it's only a matter of time. You know Alabama's going to be coming back.
Yeah, no question, and that's exactly what they did. And winning matters in situations like that Alabama was behind the 8 ball, and they've been there, done that, and that matters greatly to this age group playing this football game.
Nebraska taking Michigan to the wire. We'll see Scott Frost and those Cornhuskers next weekend in Minnesota. 5 plays, 20 yards. They do it in 2 minutes. Here's Tulsa. You know, miscues been the story of the game so far from Memphis.
Yeah, the young kicker, David Kemp, just couldn't find his rhythm early. Missed extra point, a couple of missed field goals, and that was a 4th down attempt that I think was blatant pass interference by Tyon Davis on Calvin Austin. And then the misses continue.
And this is the topper, that fumble. And Tulsa turns that into 7 points. Getting 3 missed field goals, an extra point. Fumble, interception.
And Memphis has done a lot of things right tonight.
Yeah.
A lot of things right offensively, but just not finishing when you get in the scoring zone, obviously is a bugaboo in this game.
So it was the offsides call, and they're going to re-kick. But the offsides was on Tulsa. Javon Ivory and Asa Martin back deep. And the catch is at the 25. Let's go down to the field in Lauren.
Hey guys, Hennigan got nicked up pretty bad on that last drive. His elbow was bleeding pretty substantially, so they came over and put a black sleeve there on that left elbow, his non-throwing hand. You can see a lot of disappointment in that kid's face right now. He's really disappointed at what happened there, obviously letting the football go. It's something they've emphasized all week in practice. They haven't been able to clean it up, and this is where he really is going to have to find that poise and make some big plays for this Memphis team.
Well, ball security has been impeccable for this young man this year, but tonight he has that fumble that we just saw that led to the 7 points by Tulsa, and then the interception earlier in the game, only his 2nd of the season.
The fake to Thomas. This is to Ivory, the pass. A pickup of a couple. 3-yard pickup. Under 5 minutes left in the quarter. Tigers to go 3 wide, all at the bottom of your screen. Austin moves to the top, and it's Thomas. Jace Oliver was the first to meet him. 4-yard pickup. 3rd down coming from Memphis.
And Memphis has really gotten away from their running game, which would come in handy right now on 3rd and 2. Just a matter of whether Hennigan can be efficient enough. There's going to be probably a ton of clutter on the back end. Most likely just a rush 3 and drop 8 into coverage.
Thomas, the carry, tried to cut back. Good stop by Dorian Hopkins. And the Tigers will have to punt it away.
Dorian Hopkins is having himself a game. He was the one that made the tackle on that quick screen outside earlier in this series, and then that time he just scrapes over the top and just blows up that play before it could get underway.
Here's Doyle. Came in to do the field goal kicking duties. Back in to punt. Benjamin back deep. And that one goes into the end zone. Let's get a studio update. KC, what's going on with Notre Dame? Yeah, you're right about that. Bearcats keep rolling. What coaches always say, hey, if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready.
That's right. It's the easiest way to do it, but easier said than done.
Flag.
False start. Offense number 56. 5-yard penalty. First down.
I think that's the toughest thing to do as a quarterback. Jack Cohn, hats off to him, is get benched, stay ready, and then get that opportunity immediately and come in and perform like that in that environment. That's epic for Jack Cohn.
Anthony Watkins is checked into the backfield. And he gets the carry. John Tate makes a stop. 3-yard pickup.
Because of the nature of this game, neither offense is really pushing the tempo like they were in that first half. And you can see Tulsa is taking an extra look at it. They've revisited their run game here in the second half with a little bit of inside zone, but it's been more of the power play, pulling a couple of offensive linemen and giving it to a couple of brutally running backs.
They'll keep it on the ground. And we're under 2 minutes left in the quarter.
This is where that wide receiver room for Tulsa needs to show up. They're talked about as one of the most talented wide receiver rooms in the conference, but it's been spotty at best here this evening.
Third and 9 from their own 22. Here's Bryn. Throws as he's hit. Johnson makes the catch. And that's a first down for the Golden Hurricane. 10-yard pickup.
Johnson did a great job. He was on the left hash in the slot, kind of a double move, and the quarterback, Bryn, found him late on the crossing route.
That's to the outside to Crawford. Pickup of 3. Davis Bryn now 8 of 9 of 17 for 114 yards through the air.
So Ethan Hall comes in the game at tight end. This is typically a heavy run personnel for Tulsa.
Bryn's going to keep it. And that should be the last play of the quarter. Golden Hurricane with an 8-point lead. Fourth quarter here from Tulsa when we come back. Beginning of the fourth quarter here in Tulsa, and it's the Golden Hurricane with an 8-point lead. They've got the football. Third down, 3 from their own 38. 5 of 11 on third down so far in this game.
And I would look for number 4, Josh Johnson, who has been filling in for Keelan Stokes, who is the leading receiver the last 3 years that's been dinged up. So number 4, Josh Johnson.
And the jet sweep with Josh. And he may have gotten a yard, but that's it. Cameron Smith ran him down. And Tulsa will punt it away.
An interesting choice. I haven't seen Tulsa do this much, certainly this evening. Just trying to outflank the defense, that quick jet motion, try to catch the defense off guard and outflank them to pick up the line to gain, but Johnson was unable to do it right there.
Lachlan Wilson back in to punt things away. Kobe Drake standing back at his own 11. He lets it go. And how about that? Tulsa's going to down it at the 2-yard line. A 58-yard punt by Wilson. No return. And Memphis will start this possession from their own 2.
There isn't any reason that that ball shouldn't have been caught. Drake should have fielded it, fair catch and fielded it. And at the end of the day, one of the things that Philip Montgomery, the head coach at Tulsa, told us that they needed to play a complete game, all 3 phases, and that's a really important time for the 3rd phase to show up, the special teams.
Yeah, special teams has certainly let them down here tonight. Here's Hennigan. They roll him. And that's complete on the outside to Eddie Lewis. Down the sideline, it's the first down from Memphis. Gives them some breathing room. 16-yard pickup. Coaches say this freshman quarterback cool as a cucumber. Has poise. He's going to need it on this drive. Down 8. Swings this one out to Watkins. Maybe a yard. Tyree Carlisle.
Carlisle had his eyes in the backfield and was absolutely a human missile. As soon as he saw that swing screen, number 12 Carlisle was on it in the blink of an eye.
Hennigan is now thrown for 269. He's going to throw it again over the middle. He's got Austin. Little quick shake. And he's brought down at the 37, 18-yard pickup for Calvin Austin.
And Memphis doing a good job of moving the pocket, and a very good off-platform throw by Hennigan.
And again, through the air. He was looking at Eddie Lewis. Trayvon Fuller with the coverage. Austin now with 9 catches, 117 yards receiving for Memphis. Just 5 yards below his season average of 18 yards a catch, averaging 18 yards a catch. Here's the give to Watkins. Oliver the stop.
Just really a maintenance run as we see a defender for Tulsa stay on the ground after that play, but trying to get in third and more manageable with the counter run play on 2nd and long.
That's Christian Williams. As they tend to him, we'll take a break as well. 8-point lead for Tulsa. WNBA Finals, they start tomorrow, 3 Eastern, right on ABC. ESPN-F, Candace Parker, Chicago Sky, Diana Taurasi, Phoenix Mercury. Don't miss it on ABC. Third down, 10 from Memphis. Hennigan steps up, throws, incomplete. He was pressured. Devin Lamb applying that pressure. And he was trying to get it to Rock Taylor.
And Tulsa doing an amazing job of getting pressure with really only 3, which they've been able to do on a regular basis that makes this 3-3-5 defense work, and Hennigan just could not get that ball out enough to rock Taylor.
Doyle in to punt things away.
Who's going to finish this one, because?
Oh, man. Camden Benjamin back deep. He calls for the fair catch at his own 21st. So let's see if an assistant can finally knock off Nick Saban. To the studio, Kevin Connors. What a day in college football, man. What a day.
It seems like we say that every Saturday,
Yeah,
which
right.
is the beauty of what we get to do, right?
Shamari Brooks in the backfield. That's to Josh Johnson on the outside. And it's almost as if there's no dominant team.
I think that's
right now.
exactly right, and I think that's why college football fans are loving this season, because we don't automatically book about 4 teams into the college football playoff. Trust me, if Alabama can lose, Georgia can lose as well.
You're right. You're right. Defense has been dominant for them, and offensively, sometimes they have some issues scoring. Here's Brooks.
Well, because we talked about it at the top, that both of these teams have to find a way to win games like this.
Absolutely. You know, Coach Silverfield told us we could be undefeated if we would learn how to finish games. And then you have Coach Montgomery. He said, hey, we've been in basically every game. We've only basically lost by 1 score in these games. So here they are now with the lead. And a 2 tight end set. And that's a first down.
Well, and that's one way you do it. You funnel to 3rd and really makeable, 3rd and 2, and then you get a hat on a hat. A power run game from right to left, pulling a couple of offensive linemen. And then Shamari Brooks is a great combination of power and speed downhill.
He's about 12 yards shy of 100. This is Watkins.
The thing you have to do right now, because if you're Tulsa, is you just can't have any negative plays, no tackles for loss. Keep the clock running. And certainly, Davis Brin has to throw the football away if they choose to throw it. Make a good decision. If nothing is clean, throw the ball out of bounds. A punt is your friend at this point in time in the game if it comes down to that.
This is the 31st meeting between these two squads. Memphis has won the last 3, 5 of the last 6. To the air, complete to Josh Johnson. Johnson's loose. Johnson, he's going to take it to the house. "63 yards for Josh Johnson, the transfer out of Iowa State."
Perfectly executed zone slant run pass option, which is a staple really for both of these teams. If you don't like the zone run inside, you throw the slant outside. The reason you're throwing the slant is that underneath coverage has tucked himself into the gap in his run fit, and you throw it to Josh Johnson that knows what to do with it.
Career high reception for Josh Johnson. Almost stepped out, but it's 6. and a 15-point lead for Tulsa.
ESPN College Football Primetime is presented by Sonos. Experience game-changing sound made easy.
Another touchdown by Tulsa to increase that lead. Steve Largent, one of the greats, of course, played here, and one of your former teammates in Seattle in the NFL.
Yeah, one of my favorites of all time, no question about it. It was a pleasure to play with Steve Largent, no question.
I tell you what, Tulsa's got some great history here with wide receivers. Not only Steve Largent, Drew Pearson, another who just went into the Hall of Fame. But talk to me about Steve Largent. What was it like to play with him?
It was amazing. He was literally the first guy I met when I went to the Seahawks. And an incredible man to begin with, an incredible husband, incredible father. But route running, you talk about between the ears, he maximized his physical ability, but he outthought everybody on the field. He used the one misstep by a defensive back against them, and all of a sudden there's separation, and that's good for guys like me.
Absolutely. Steve Largent, Hall of Famer. Josh Johnson with a career high catch and run for him. He's got 140 yards receiving here. Hennigan's going deep for Austin and almost intercepted by Tyneil Martin.
And certainly wanting to go deep to their speedy wide receiver, Austin, but well played by Martin. We've seen that a time or two. Tulsa's not opposed to getting hands on receivers, especially speedy ones like Kelvin Austin.
Memphis and Hennigan under pressure, escapes. He's got a first down and a whole lot more and gets out of bounds. Bryson Powers knocks him out, 19-yard pickup.
And certainly because Memphis has to be lamenting their missed opportunities early in this game that could certainly have changed the complexion.
Hennigan. And we have a mix-up there as he threw it down the sideline, and you saw Eddie Lewis stop the route.
And that's one of those things where the quarterback receiver have to be on the same page. It's either going to be a fade route or a stop route, and it's based on the coverage. And if the coverage is over the top, the receiver's going to stop and come back. If the receiver has a step on him, the receiver will continue on the fade. And obviously, Lewis and his quarterback Hennigan were not on the same page.
Last 5 drives for Memphis. Lost it on downs, missed field goal, a fumble, a punt, and a punt. Here they are now. Hennigan again through the air, and that's caught. Nice catch by Rock Taylor. And in between 2 Golden Hurricanes.
Magnificent coverage by Tyon Davis. A safety over the top, and then Davis underneath. Perfectly well thrown, and then well played by Rock Taylor.
25-yard pickup. And again through the air. That one's complete to the tight end, Caden Prescorn. The Tigers come knocking on the door.
And happening. Oh, excuse me, go ahead. Because
Memphis led this game 13-7 with 38 seconds left here in the second quarter. And you can see how Tulsa has turned the tide here, and now Memphis trying to come back. First and goal. Hennigan again looking. Throw back in the end zone. Incomplete. That was intended for Kobe Drake.
Well, and you saw the pressure. Tulsa was coming. 0 blitz. No help on the back end, and it was a flat in a corner. Drake was going to the corner, but it was really well covered by Martin.
Second and goal. Second and goal from the 9. Dykes, Austin, bottom of your screen. Dykes in the slot. Hennigan looks their way to Dykes, corner of the end zone. Caught it, touchdown, Tulsa.
Because you had it exactly right. Dykes was the slot receiver to the bottom of the screen, and Austin was outside of him, and it's just what's called a spray fade. It's a fade route from the inside receiver, and then you let your big tight end muscle it up, and I think he completes that catch.
Great catch by Dykes from Memphis. And now do they go for two?
It certainly seems like the thing to do.
Here's Hennigan. Looking, caught by Dykes. So the tight end does it all. Touchdown catch, 2-point conversion, and well, we got ourselves a football game here.
We're still asking that question, who's going to finish this one? What a tremendous drive, and you called it because this was the Sean Dykes show. First the touchdown, and then the two-pointer has made it really interesting in Tulsa.
Hey, Taco Bell welcomes you to the Live Más Student Section of the Year contest. Use the hashtag Student Section Sauce to get the committee's attention. Go to ESPN.com/Taco Bell to see how your school can compete. Memphis just ended a 21-0 run by Tulsa with that touchdown catch. A 2-point conversion by Sean Dykes. Anthony Watkins back deep. Watkins across the 20 and brought down at the 22. Hennigan now has thrown for 343 yards and a touchdown to the field in Lawrence Sisler.
Yeah, guys, Seth Hennigan told me one of the guys he leaned on most when he arrived on campus was Sean Dykes. Like Hennigan, Dykes is a Texas kid. He really took him under his wing early and quickly built that bond. And if there's someone you want to position yourself around to learn the ropes, he's a leader, so to speak, Sean Dykes would definitely be the guy. And now he just scored you 9 points, and you're down now just 7.
So now let's see what Tulsa can do here. They got 1st and 10 from their own 22. 8:05 left. They go to Shamari Brooks. And he's knocked backwards. Rodney Owens.
You would certainly think that Tulsa wants to take the air out of the ball a little bit, let the clock run. Time is not really an issue. Both teams have 3 timeouts. What the issue is which team is going to figure out a way to finish a game well.
Memphis trying to put an end to their losing streak. Here's Brooks. That's a 1st down run. Move the sticks. Clock continues to run. That's an 8-yard pickup for Tulsa.
And this has been their go-to run play, is that power game, pulling 2 offensive linemen from right to left. And then a patient runner. Brooks has to be patient with that. You have to let those offensive linemen pull and then get positioned and squared up on their landmarks. And Brooks has done a really good job with that run in particular this evening.
He's a yard shy of 100. Brin over the middle, looking for Johnson. Johnson wanted a flag, and it comes out here.
I think Quindale Johnson, the safety, is going to get called for pass interference from what I could tell, matched up on Josh Johnson, just arriving a little early, and I think he had his left hand around the waist.
Josh with 140 yards, receiving and 8
Ineligible
catches.
player downfield.
Actually, yeah.
Offense number 66.
Wow.
The penalty is declined.
It is second down.
Instead, they're going to call that on Gerard Wheeler.
Well, first of all, I still think it was pass interference, but Wheeler, the center, was actually down, and that happens on the run-pass option because the offensive linemen, understand, are blocking run regardless. And then when it's a pass, they have to go to the second level and get their target in the run game, and that ends up violating that 3 yards that they're allowed to get downfield.
2nd and 10. Brooks breaks it, open field, and he's right at the mark. I think that's a first down. Late makes the stop. Yes, it is. They'll move the sticks.
This run game out of Tulsa has been what Philip Montgomery, the head coach play caller, wants it to be, especially here in the second half, and that's what you have to do to close out games. You have to have a run game that you can hitch the wagon to.
They'll take their time. Let the game clock, play clock run down. Here's Brooks. Brooks again. Across the midfield. Tomorrow night, NBA preseason doubleheader on ESPN. Thunder, Bucks. That comes your way at 7:30. And then it's to the Staples Center for Suns Lakers.
It's just kind of ping-ponging back and forth in terms of the play calling by Philip Montgomery. It's the power game, pulling linemen, and then it's the zone game as kind of a change-up to that power run. And right now, Philip Montgomery's team is executing both really well.
2nd and 2 for Tulsa. This drive started with like 8 minutes on the clock. That's another first down.
Learning how to finish. Finish drives, really finish plays, finish drives, and ultimately finish games. That's what really this game is about.
Brooks now with 1,400-yard games rushing in his career. He's got 122 on the night. This is Watkins. Right up the middle, Watkins. Turning a leg, breaks another tackle. Inside, what a run! Touchdown, Tulsa! By the sophomore out of Fort Worth, Texas. 3rd touchdown of the season. One of the finest runs you'll see.
Right down Broadway. How many broke tackles and or missed tackles do you see right there before Watkins finishes in the end zone? You want to finish a game, you finish a run like that.
Called a flag on the sideline celebration for Tulsa. And another flag comes flying out.
False start. Offense number 76. 5-yard penalty. Re-kick.
Hey, yeah, run like that, you gotta have the Juju hat.
You ought to get 2 hats. They have a blue Juju hat also. He ought to get both of those hats after that run. That was terrific.
Where's my hat?
What, 2 hats? The blue hat and the red hat. Want them both.
Extra point is good.
Give us the hats, because
What a run by Anthony Watkins. And it is Tulsa in command here in the 4th quarter. Welcome back ESPN College Football Prime Time. It is presented by Sonos. 35-21 as Tulsa goes 7 plays, 78 yards. They do it in 3 minutes and 37 seconds. Tyler Tipton has come in to kick things away. Ivory and Martin back deep for Memphis. Hey, let's take a look at our Downey unstoppable player. And without word, this is Anthony Watkins. 68 yards. Gets this one. I love this, Kelly. Watch the stiff arm. Get off.
There's a stiff arm right there, and there's a broken tackle and a stiff arm, and then another one, and then the fourth one, I believe, Watkins carries into the end zone. Unstoppable indeed, and it might be the key for Tulsa to turn this around, and that's a juju dance, I believe. You got a hat, you got a couple of hats, and you got a dance, and Watkins is in the end zone nonetheless.
You can juju on that beat. Hennigan to Dykes. Gets out of bounds. Stop the clock.
There's still time left in this game. You know, Memphis wasn't exactly slowed down the last time they had the football, and pressing in on 4 minutes with all 3 timeouts left.
Here's Hennigan. He'll step up. Under pressure. Tyra Stevenson forced him to get rid of that football.
You know what makes this new 3-3-5 defensive Tulsa work that they actually went to? Joe Gillespie was telling us in 2018 to play against teams just like this in their league. The run-pass option spread hurry-up teams. But when you can get a decent rush consistently with only 3 guys, what a benefit that is.
Memphis 0 of 4 on their last 3rd downs here. And again, Hennigan under pressure. Under 4 minutes left in this game. 3:59 left in this game.
And Hennigan's under pressure, and Trayvon Fuller, our cover corner with a bad hand, is trying to find Kelvin Austin as much as he can and cover him up, just like he did on that previous play.
4th down for the Tigers. Hennigan under pressure again, throws to the sideline, and caught by Austin.
That matchup we were talking about, Trayvon Fuller's bump and run outside, and Austin does a great job of releasing off the line of scrimmage and then finishing on the football.
Career high 10 catches for Austin, 25-yard pickup. Hennigan under pressure, sacked. Player, Goodlow. And Memphis is going to have to take a timeout.
Yeah, and the one thing you tell a young quarterback, we cannot, A, turn the ball over, B, take a sack in this situation. It costs you too much, either in time or in the form of a timeout like it did right here for Memphis.
3:27 left here in this quarter.
And because that pressure, again, was rushing 3, dropping 8, and they still get to Hennigan, the quarterback.
That's a loss of 10 for Memphis. Memphis had come into this game on a 2-game losing streak. It was the first time for Memphis that they'd had a multiple game losing streak since 2018, trying to avoid a 3-game losing streak. They haven't had that since 2015. Tigers have won 3 straight in this series with Tulsa, 5 of the last 6. Second down and 20 now for the Tigers. from their own 46. Hennigan steps up, throws, that's complete to Javon Ivory.
3 deep, zone underneath, and Grant Sawyer, the linebacker, just needs to continue to get depth, and he would find himself right under that route.
Pickup of 24. Low snap to the outside, incomplete. He's looking at Eddie Lewis.
Because that's one thing I've noticed about Tulsa defensively. Sometimes there's a disconnection between level 2 in their zone and the back end. And that last completion, the linebacker, he's actually a star position, a hybrid kind of safety linebacker. Grant Sawyer doesn't have any other route in his area. He just has to continue to sink, they call it, get depth, and he would be right under that last completion.
Hennigan throwing. He's got Austin to the end zone. Touchdown! Calvin Austin. His 8th touchdown of the season. That one from 30 yards. Austin now 11 catches, 172 yards receiving.
You will look far and wide to not see a better double move than you saw out of Calvin Austin. The out and the up, and Tyon Davis bit on the out, and there was no one to cover over top on the vertical route by Calvin Austin.
They'll go for 2. Asa Martin has checked into the backfield. Hennigan rolls left, throwing, he's got a man wide open, and it's complete. Javon Ivory with the 2-point conversion. And all of a sudden, it is just a 6-point ball game here.
Calvin Austin on the double move and the pressure by Hennigan, and there you go vertical. Austin was already to the out and then gets clean on the vertical part of it. A good job by the youngster, hanging in there on the pressure by Burnett. And then the 2-point conversion, they didn't really have to do that. I think this is more about an indictment to their kicking game, because if you miss that, then you have to go for it again later.
So they go 8 plays, 75 yards. They just do it in a minute 17. So you talk about finishing. Memphis still has 2 timeouts, so now it's on their defense. Come up with a stop.
You're exactly right. And both of these coaches talked to us about how all 3 phases of the game of football haven't really consistently came together this season for these teams. And that's what's going to have to happen right now.
Noah Grant has come in to kick things away. Josh Johnson is back deep. Listen, your Week 5 NFL Sunday starts 10 a.m. Eastern. Countdown Crew, ESPN, the ESPN app. They've got exclusive interviews with Dak Prescott and Joe Burrow. You got Moss, breaking stories, injury updates, everything right up to kickoff. And then you got Monday Night Football, that matchup. Ravens, Colts, Monday Night Countdown. It starts at 6 Eastern. Game coverage at 8 Eastern. ESPN, ESPN Deportes, and the ESPN app. So now here's Tulsa. You've got a 6-point lead. You got 3-11. You keep running that rock. You've had busted a few.
Yeah, I think you do. It's 4-minute offense, which is you do 2 things. You run the clock and you force the opposition to burn through any timeouts that they may still have.
Brooks tied up by Zay Cullins.
I think Memphis called a timeout before that ball was snapped.
Well, I'll tell you what, after a little offense in the first half, we've had 4 straight touchdowns. That's Gerard Wheeler, the redshirt senior out of Plano, Texas.
The official did just say that Memphis called a timeout, correct?
Yeah, it looks like they're going to say second down. So I guess that timeout was called right after the time.
Wow, that was a quick whistle for sure. It almost looked like they blew the play dead and had Memphis calling a timeout. So Memphis wants to do just that. Use your timeouts, save the clock. Tulsa, on the other hand, wants at the minimum to force Memphis to do just that. But obviously Tulsa needs a first down, at least probably a couple first downs.
That's their center. That's on the carpet there for Tulsa. And listen, close finishes is nothing new to some of this series here. You go back to 2019, the last time they met, it was a 1-point game.
Yeah, and the winner, you can see right there, has to score a bunch of points.
Yeah,
that's the other theme in that lineup from 14 down to 19.
I mean, yeah, again, that last meeting in 2019, 1 point. But the previous 5 meetings, you had the winning team winning by an average of 25 points. When we talk about 2019, here's a look at that one. October 26, 2019, Corey Taylor with a 31-yard touchdown run. That made it 28-24, and then Kenneth Gainwell, he goes 62 yards and a 1-yard touchdown run and a missed field goal, and Memphis got themselves a 1-point victory. Xavier Gadlin has come in on that offensive line.
And Gadlin has experience at center, but obviously the snap to the quarterback in shotgun is vital right here with the starting center out.
Here's Brooks. Quindell Johnson. And again, a quick timeout.
You know, what's interesting about that last game we saw, the flashback to 19, Silverfield believes that's really how he got the job, because if that field goal is not made by Memphis, who knows what happens to Mike Norvell, and whether this former offensive line coach is the head coach at Memphis or not would kind of swing in the, kind of blowing the balance right there.
Man, I'll tell you, this is a crucial play in this football game. 3 minutes, 4 seconds left. 3rd and 6 coming here from Tulsa. From their own 29.
And the 4-minute offense, as they call this situationally in football, has been executed really well by Memphis currently. 2 quick timeouts, 3rd and 6. Money down right here for Davis Brent.
It's Shamari Brooks offset left of Bryn. Josh Johnson at the top of your screen in the slot. Johnson 140 yards receiving, Brooks 126 on the ground. Bryn throwing, looking for Johnson, incomplete. Zay Collins with the deflection.
And Zay Collins is playing the middle linebacker position and is just reading the eyes of the quarterback. You can see him right there with that club on his hand. If the club's not on the right hand, that might be a pick for Memphis, but well played. Getting in the way of that run-pass option, knowing that the slant is coming behind Collins. Well played by Collins.
Lachlan Wilson, the punt. And Memphis came after it. Here's Drake. Now you let the last one go, remember, and it cost him. And he's dropped at the 10. $64-yard punt. Just a 3-yard return. It's been a tough night for Kobe Drake there returning. So here we go. We got a true freshman who's thrown for 428 yards here tonight. 2 touchdowns, just 1 pick, Hey, freshman, you can become a legend here. You can drive these guys down.
Well, because what's interesting is Tulsa said that they want the game to come down to the end where the freshman has to make a play late. Well, guess what, Tulsa? You're going to get what you ask for. See if you can finish.
Here we go. Hennigan is going to throw to the outside, and Watkins. And he steps out of bounds. Pick up a 4.
And Memphis has no timeouts left. 2 minutes and 42 seconds. So you want to run your offense the way you normally would, maybe working the sidelines a little bit, but you don't forget about the middle of the field until you get inside of that 2-minute mark.
And you don't forget about that guy, number 4, Austin. And that's who he's looking at. Throws to Austin, who makes the catch at the 31-yard line.
And so you now have to obviously move with a purpose. You don't want to kill the clock right here. Get the ball snapped.
16-yard pickup. Hennigan looking under pressure. Brought down by Jackson Player. A guy you talked about at the top of the show.
Rushing 3, dropping 8, and still getting to the young quarterback.
Here's Hennigan. Complete. Watkins upended by Davis. Under 2 minutes. Clock's ticking. No timeouts for Memphis.
Good job by Davis knowing that the receiver was trying to get out of bounds.
3rd and 11. Hennigan again. Time. Sideline. Throws. Knocked away. He was looking at Lewis. Trayvon Fuller says, nah, freshman.
Fuller was underneath, and Martin, the safety, was over the top, and Fuller continued to get depth when he's not threatened into the flat and broke that ball off.
It's homecoming here in Tulsa. Memphis 2 for 3 on 4th down. This could be the game. 4th and 11. Austin at the bottom of your screen. He's got 188 yards receiving. Dykes in motion. Austin across the middle. Gives it to him. Turns on the speed. He's got a 1st down and gets out of bounds.
He needed every bit of that sub 4-3 right there. A good heady play by Hennigan, stepping up, avoiding the pressure, and then look what I found. The guy I wanted to get it to all along, Austin, then it's a foot race. I bet on number 4.
He's got 200 yards receiving and getting a blow. Hennigan again steps up, throws down the sideline. About a football and intercepted. Bryson Powers, the senior.
How fitting that Trayvon Fuller, from his corner position, sinks underneath the route, plays it beautifully, and then the ball gets batted in the air, and Bryson Powers, coming off the hash from his safety position, does he actually catch that football? Break up the pocket, Trayvon Fuller, exactly like that. And here comes your safety, Powers, to close it out. And we got the juju going on again. If Powers gets a hat, Trayvon Fuller gets the blue version of the juju hat.
He's had quite a night on playing corner. What a game. It has been quite a day in college football as we take a look at the Capital One college football rankings. Bama goes down. Penn State goes down. Oklahoma, a great win over Texas. BYU went down. And I'll tell you what, the freshmen, Man, he showed a lot of moxie. 463 is what he threw for. 2 touchdowns, but 2 picks. And Tulsa, they're the ones who finish and get their first conference victory here.
Philip Montgomery told us that we're better than our record indicates. If we learn how to do the little things right in clutch time, that's exactly what his squad did tonight.
417 total yards of offense. Davis Brin, 182 through the air, 2 touchdowns. Shamari Brooks, 126 on the ground. For Lauren Sisler, Kelly Stauffer, and our entire ESPN crew, I'm Brian Custer. Thanks for joining us. Sports Center is next. Let's send you out to the studio.